Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm podcasting on the narcissistic mother-in-law. Oh boy, if anybody's ever had to deal with a narcissistic mother-in-law, they know exactly what I'm about to tell them, okay? But a lot of people are dealing with this. A lot of people are married or in a relationship with somebody, and their mother is a narcissist, okay? When you're involved with somebody and their mother is a narcissist, that narcissistic mother is going to want to have control over your partner, okay? Your relationship with your partner will never just be you and them unless your partner is strong enough to create those boundaries with their mother, okay? But the problem is, a narcissistic mother-in-law lays guilt trips on their child, okay? In other words, they might be a widow, or they might, be divorced. A narcissistic mother generally, not all the time, but generally doesn't have their own life, and they're in your partner's life, and they want to get in your life. A narcissistic mother-in-law is jealous of you. They're jealous of your relationship with your partner, okay? Because deep down, a narcissistic mother-in-law is not happy, all right? They're not a happy person. And how do they? Because they don't have control. And once their son or daughter gets involved with you, they feel like they've lost control. So what are they going to try to do? They're going to cause problems in your relationship. And how do they do that? A lot of times, narcissistic mother-in-laws are covert narcissists. And why do I say that? Because if they come out and tell you that they don't like you, they know that their son or daughter is going to have a problem with them. So they do it underhandedly, okay? That's why they're like covert narcissists. They're going to give little digs to your partner to discredit you or to make you look bad. In other words, let's say you go to a family party and you know that these people, they really don't like you or anything, and you realize, okay, let me not talk much or something like that. They're going to have something to say no matter what you do, no matter what you say, what you don't say. They're going to have something to say about it, and they're going to make you look bad to your partner. And what happens when you leave that party? You come home and you're arguing with your partner, okay? And the thing is, if you have a weak partner that doesn't know and doesn't see their mother as toxic, you're going to have a problem, and you're probably going to break up down the line or get divorced, all right? Trust me, I know. So if you get involved with somebody and they have a narcissistic mother, you have to be sure that that person is not under that narcissistic mother thumb, okay? Or your relationship, you're going to have to constantly be appeasing that mother-in-law. You're going to have to be constantly, kissing up to that mother-in-law. Because if that mother-in-law who's narcissistic doesn't like you, they will make your life a living misery. Because you're going to have to deal with these people. If you're in a serious relationship with somebody and you have children down the line and everything, these people are going to be around, whether it's a child's birthday party, whether it's a graduation, whether it's a holiday or something along those lines. You have to deal with these people. And I tell people all the time, I wish I would have known this, okay? I wish somebody would have told me. When you're dating somebody, you've got to look at the family. And the saying goes, you're not just marrying that person, you're marrying the family. That is so true, you guys. And the thing is, when you're, in the dating phase, you don't realize, because you're out, you're having fun, you figure, okay, so they have a toxic mother, big deal, whatever. Well, it's going to be a big deal once you settle down with that person, because your life is going to change. Your life is not always going to be about going out and partying and everything like that. Your life may be changing where you have a family with that person, and then you have the narcissistic mother-in-law that wants to come and visit, or they want to take the kids, or they don't want to take the kids, or they have something to say about how you raise the kids. They're going to always, or you don't visit them enough. They're going to lay guilt trips on your partner, okay? This is what narcissistic mother-in-laws do. They play guilt trips on their partner, all right? So that when you're with your partner, if you say one bad thing about your narcissistic mother-in-law, your partner is going to lash out at you. Like, don't you ever talk about my mother or something like that, all right? And why is that? Because the narcissistic mother-in-law has played the victim to your partner. Poor me, nobody calls me, nobody comes and sees me. Oh, she doesn't say hello, or she barely said hello. They're going to find something to nitpick about, something very small, so that they don't look like they're attacking you. This is how a narcissistic covert mother-in-law does it, okay? Or they're going to try to make you out to be like the Gestapo or something like that. You're a general, you're bossy, you're always bossing your partner around. This is another thing they like to do, these narcissistic mother-in-laws. They like to make it look like you're bossy, that, you're treating your partner badly or something like that. Why do they have you doing that? Why do they have you doing this? This is how they put the seed in the head of your partner, so that your partner now, they're not going to say something to you right away. What happens is your partner will explode the minute that you bring up their mother. That's what happens. The minute that you bring up their mother, they've been holding it and holding it and holding it because they're afraid to say something to you. They don't want to have, bad feelings between you and their mother. So they won't come back and tell you the things that their mother said. So, but when you bring up their mother, you say something like, well, your mother only calls once in a while or something. They're going to explode on you. They're going to explode on you because their head has already been filled by the narcissistic mother-in-law. A lot of times, if you have a fight with your partner and they're tight with that narcissistic mother, that partner, if they're a narcissist too, they're going to give you the silent routine. Okay. And why are they doing all these things or treating you a certain way? Because there's outsiders there filling their heads up. Okay. Bad things about you. Okay. Bad things about you. And that a lot of times, you're going to see it. Like I saw it. Like, for instance, when my ex would come home and have a face on, I knew right away it was because he spoke to his mother. All right. I knew right away. And I was always right. I was right about it. And that she was putting little innuendos in his head and everything like that. And that when you had an argument, it wasn't necessarily about, oh, there's a dish in the sink or something like that. It was because they were holding all that in, because the narcissistic mother-in-law does not want peace. They're not peacemakers. Understand this. They are not peacemakers. They are people that want to cause rift. In other words, misery loves company. And a narcissistic mother-in-law is miserable. They're miserable in their lives. And guess what? They don't want to see you happy. They're jealous. They're envious, and they don't like the fact that you are taking the attention by being in a relationship with their son and daughter away from them. Okay? They're troublemakers and they're fire starters. And the best way to handle a narcissistic mother-in-law is to keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut, okay? Or if you have to say something, you just state the facts and that's it. Because if you're one of these fighting type of people and you come back at that narcissistic mother-in-law in a very fierce way, your partner's going to have it for you. It's how you handle it, you guys. It's how you handle it. I mean, obviously, if somebody is blatantly disrespectful to you, you have to address it with your partner, okay? You address it with your partner so that they are aware of it, and they are the ones that have to address their mother, okay? And if they can't do that, your relationship is going to break down unless you succumb to them, okay? Unless you put up with a lot of crap. So it's very important that you have a partner that has a backbone that could set boundaries with their narcissistic mother. Because if you don't, and they're the kind that, can't look at their mother as toxic or something like that, you're always going to be the bad guy. You are always going to be the bad guy. So be careful who you get involved with, and always look at these outside people that are in their life, whether it's their narcissistic mother, narcissistic friends, narcissistic father, whoever it is. What is the impact of these outsiders on your partner? Okay? Because if your partner is one of these people that can't see really what's going on, you're going to have a lot of rift with that person because your partner's not going to stand up for you. They're not going to stand up for you because they are being manipulated by the narcissistic mother, because the narcissistic mother is laying guilt trips on them. Okay? They're always going to they're going to play the good guy. They're going to be like, well, I just don't want you guys to fight and stuff like that. They pretend that, oh, they're all for your relationship and everything like that. But meanwhile, they're going to throw their little digs when you're not around. They're going to say, oh, why did she make you do that? Or you're doing everything over there. Or she talks to you like that. Okay? All they have to do is make like a little subtle, indirect remark like, she talked to you like that? And guess what? That's going to be in your partner's head and they're going to have it for you. Like I said, they may not bring it up to you right away because they're afraid of conflict with you. But when you have a problem or you bring up their mother, they're going to explode on you. So you have to be very, very careful what you say to your partner or what you say to your narcissistic mother-in-law, because they will use it against you. The best thing to do is, minimal contact if you can, and try not to talk badly about them unless they're really being disrespectful to you, or you are going to look like the bad guy, okay? And this is what they want. You're going to play right into their hands. You're going to play right into their hands, because what they're going to do, what that covert narcissistic mother-in-law is going to do, is they're going to say, oh, she's so sensitive. Oh, I didn't do anything. What did I do? What did I do? This is what the narcissistic mother-in-law acts like. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Meanwhile, she was making her little digs, saying something to the effect of, oh, you were very silent at the party. Or you're laughing all the time. Like, in other words, you're fake or something like that. Little indirect comments that discredit your character. But if you call it out and say something to your partner about it, your partner's not going to see it in your eyes, because you're going to look like you're nitpicking on their mother. This is why I'm saying you have to pick and choose your battles of when somebody completely disrespects you or something like that. You try to have minimal contact with these type of people. It's a terrible way to live, you guys, when you have a narcissistic mother-in-law, because like I said, these women don't have their own life where they're in your business, all right? They call up and they want to know that's another thing too. A narcissistic mother-in-law wants to know everything that's going on in your house. They're going to be calling up your partner when you're not around, or they're going to call up your partner when they're at work and be like, what's going on? Everything okay? Are you fighting? Anything new? What has she been doing, or what has he been doing? They're very nosy and want to be in your business. Okay. So it's really hard, like I said, unless you have a very strong partner that can see that their mother is toxic and has your back. If you don't have that, you're going to be in a bad relationship, and your relationship's going to break down eventually. Eventually, you're going to have had it where you're going to be like, you know what? I'm not taking this crap anymore, okay? You're not standing up for me. Your partner's got to respect you. You come first before the narcissistic mother. All right. When you get married to somebody, you become one. Your spouse is priority over your outside family. All right. And if you have somebody who doesn't see that and makes you an equal with their mother or their father or something like that, like you feel like your partner's living two lives, one life with you, and then they have another relationship with them on an equal stand, then you know that you are in a toxic relationship. Another thing that a narcissistic mother-in-law will do is they're going to want control over money. What a narcissistic mother-in-law will do is they're going to cry poverty all the time, and your partner may slip money to your narcissistic mother-in-law and you don't even know about it, okay? And you don't even know about it. And you may find out about that years down the line. Trust me, I know, okay? So this is why I'm telling you, they have this secret bond. If you're dealing with somebody who's a mama's boy or a daddy's girl or something like that, those kind of relationships that they put priority over the relationship with you, your relationship is on a road to destruction, okay? Because you're not marrying a grown man. You're not marrying a grown woman. You're marrying a child that's still controlled by their narcissistic mother, or it could be narcissistic father. They still have control over them. So it's going to be very hard to be in a relationship with that person, because you're always going to have to kiss up to their narcissistic parent in order to keep the peace. Because if you don't kiss up to them and your partner doesn't stand up for you, you're going to be arguing with your partner all the time. It's horrible, you guys. It's a horrible way to live. So let me wrap up and just say this. When you get involved with somebody, you better make sure that you get involved with somebody who's got a backbone, all right, and that has your back, and who could see toxic and can acknowledge that their mother is narcissistic. A lot of times, if you're involved with a narcissist and they have a narcissistic mother, they're not going to look at it like their mother is toxic, all right? You're the toxic ones, okay? So if they can't acknowledge that they have a narcissistic or toxic mother, you got a problem right there, because they're never going to be able to see the manipulation that narcissistic mother is going to inflict on you, okay? They're never going to see it, because they're not going to realize that a narcissistic mother is going to play the victim, is going to guilt trip them, is going to subtly make you look bad with little digs here or there without coming out and saying, you're this or you're that. They don't come out and say it, all right? Most times they don't. They're covert, because they want to look like the good guy. This is how they start problems in your relationship, because a narcissistic mother, a covert narcissistic mother, if she comes out blatantly and calls you names or something like that, or curses at you or something like that, she knows that her son or daughter is going to turn on them. So that's why they're covert. They're going to do it in an indirect way so that you can never point your finger on them. And if you do ever say anything about them, they'll call you crazy. Oh, I didn't mean anything by that comment. Oh, she's sensitive or something like that, okay? This is how they try to destroy you, okay? So watch what you say to them. Make sure you have a partner that's got your back. And if you're in a toxic relationship with somebody who's, not seeing what their narcissistic mother is about, you better think seriously about getting out of that relationship before you waste your life away with somebody and having to answer to that narcissistic mother the rest of your life, all right? Unless you want to kiss up to that narcissistic mother the rest of your life, because that's how you're going to have to live if you have a partner that doesn't stand up for you, okay? I hope that helps you. If it does, please hit the subscribe button and share, and have a great day. Are you dealing with a toxic person or a narcissist and you don't know how to handle this person? Well, if you have a question and you want it answered, you can get a personalized video sent to you. The link is in the bio, wizio.com/the_game exposed, and ask a question and have a personalized video sent back to you answering your question. Whether you have a toxic person in your life, a narcissist, you're having a dating or relationship problem, get your question answered. Go to Wizio, WISIO.com/the_game exposed to ask a question. Links in the bio. If you're having trouble in your relationship, or maybe you're dealing with somebody who's a narcissist and you're really confused, you don't know what to do, you need some advice or some clarity, well, I offer email and also phone coaching. Please go to the podcast description for the link on how to get email or phone coaching, or maybe you just have a question that you need answered. All questions will be answered confidentially, so go to the podcast description where it tells you how Yaz can answer your questions. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to make you aware that the Game Exposed podcast now has their merchandise available. You can check out the link in the podcast description. There's hoodies, there's sweatpants, there's t-shirts, there's cool hats. So go check it out. Link is in the podcast description. And follow Yaz on Instagram at dating_advice_Yaz.